Jai Baba. Now I'm climbing up the Meher Astana, the pious cottage in which Avatar of the age, Meher Baba took shelter for 2 full days in 1950, November 1952, and 3 nights from 21 November to 24th November 1952, which was the beginning of his new life, of his fiery-free life, not new life. So I took Baba up these steps to lead him to the door of the cottage, which we had built for him, because in this small village, which has no material means, we had nothing to give to Baba to stay as Baba desired. So according to Baba's instructions, I decided to build this cottage here, reclaiming the bushes which are descending around Meher Astana. And I brought Baba with me to the door of the first door. That my name is Keshwar Narayan Nigam. And Baba has made me the chief worker of this area. And for his stay, we have built this cottage called Meher Astana. The name Meher Astana was given by myself, and later it was confirmed by Baba in 1967 when we asked for his permission to build it. Then Baba said, Meher Astana's name is all right, let it remain as it is. But when Baba came up with me, I showed him the cottage. I showed him this cottage and all this surroundings. Baba was so very happy that he gave me such a tight embrace, which I remember even to this day, and which I feel that only God could give me such an affectionate and loving embrace as Baba gave to me. And he was so much impressed that he called the Mandali at once. He said Mandali should take off their luggage later, to come to see the Meher Astana at once. So they were sent for, all the Mandali came running to Baba. When they came up, they were all surprised to see this spot. Baba asked each of them, how do you like it? Some said, very fine. How do you know it? How do you feel it? So many questions. So he filled the Mandali with delight, and the Mandali people also separately asked me. Mandali people also began to inquire me, Nigam, who was living here, and for how long where he lived. I said, here lived two spirits, two ghosts, and wild animals like boars, wolves, jackals, and sometimes tigers also. The bushes were so thick that no one could see anyone here sitting. This kuti was selected by me. This spot was selected by me purposely, because Baba had instructions, given me instructions as the chief worker, as the leader of this darshan program. He had left me instructions that my stay should be at a place which should be neither near the village nor for the village. The stay given to my Mandali should be such as should be neither far from me nor close to me. So I tried to find such place here at Maheva, where there were no such buildings. The only alternative for me was to reclaim the bushes of this mound and build here this cottage of soil. This is not pakka cottage, this is soil. So and it was erected between 9 and 10 days by the village level, Baba level. On 8th and 9th and 36th. So Baba got a meeting of those lovers who wanted to participate in his fiery-free life, and I was one of the invitees. When there Baba gave me instructions of his darshan here, so I carried those instructions and it was within 10 days that this hut was prepared for his stay. The problem was solved. The problem of Baba's stay was solved in this way. When Baba came after already told you, he trust me, was very much pleased to see this cottage, to show to his Mandri, and then he also, as soon as he climbed up the Meherasana, another incident, another thing took place. But that is about my brother, who is at the present, who is the caretaker of Meherasana under Baba's direct order. So he called, Baba had given me instructions at Meherabad during that meeting of 29th and 30th September. Seeing his condition, Baba asked me, what is the matter with him? I said, he has been suffering from this disease, a ghastly disease. His pasi discharge used to flow every moment from his head to foot. He had become like a ghost. The things that oozed out of his body, was very foul smelling. No one could sit by him on account of that foul smell. So Baba said, when I reach your village for giving darshan, ask him to be present there, at that place. Remind me about him. He should be present there after observing 24 hours fast on water only. So as soon as the car stopped at the door, Mukund was standing under Baba's order, having observed 24 hours fast. So Baba said, all right. I said, Baba, he is Mukund, whom he ordered me to remind. Then he said, all right. After showing this part to Bandli, he called Mukund up to him. He said, come on, ask him to come. Mukund came to Baba. Baba gave him a fruit. He asked me to bring some fruit. So I brought a fruit from, I don't know whether it was apple or banana. But this time, when I saw it, he said it was definitely banana, and I had given my hand to Mukund. So maybe banana or this apple, but I think he gave that fruit to Mukund and said, by Baba's blessings, God may cure me in every respect up to April 1953. He said, utter this to your heart and take it. So he took that fruit from Baba and went down, uttered those words and took it. I called Mukund, he came up these stairs and Baba gave him that fruit. And so Mukund was called. He is here. He is under Baba's orders. He is the caretaker of Meherasana. This was done, the only thing done with him that day by Baba. Baba's direction was definite that through Baba's blessings, God may cure me in every respect by April. This was the thing he had to do. He went down, uttered those words from his heart, eat the fruit, and that this incident here ended. He went away. Then Baba settled here, Mandli settled there at a distance.
What happened? 14 days for catching up to death.
So, when Baba went away, after finishing darshan in 1952, before departing, he told me, maintain it. So, under his orders, I am maintaining it to this day, to my best capacity. Mukund, from that day, Mukund began to live here, to lie down here, day and night. He could not move. Any person would come from the house, food for him, he will take. Otherwise, he was lying hungry. This condition continued up to 14th April 1953. On the night of 14th April, he slept with the same disease. And on the 15th, he was totally cured of it. on 15th April 1953, when he got up, he was just as healthy as he is standing before you. Overnight, his condition, he says, I don't know when and how I become cured, but I was surprised when in the morning I found no pus, no discharge of this dead skin. In all respects, he was 100% cured, just as Baba has caused him to utter. Our mother used to come to see him every day. She was also very surprised when he saw, Are you Mukund? Are you Mukund? What has become of you? He said, Baba knows what he has done. I don't know. I slept having the same disease, and in the morning I'm fresh as ever. Before. So this hut of clay was made by the lovers of this village for Baba, for this thing. Within 7 days, they reclaimed this spot for this hut. When this hut was being built, Baba had to set foot in this district on 18th November, on the morning of 18th November. Then what happened here? When he was to arrive, Baba was to arrive at Hamirpur from Kanpur side on the morning of 18th November 1952. And on that very night, when this cottage was not complete, at night, a loud blowing of conch shell was heard, and fragrance of incense diffused in the air so wide that one person who was looking after his jar field, he heard the voice of that conch shell, and he felt the smell of the incense. All the night he was having these experiences. But in the morning when he came to confirm what was here, there were no signs of any person, of staying any person, no incense, nothing of the kind was here. So it means that because God was come here, and he had to stay at this place, so God from the heavens or some ethereal agencies rejoice his arrival, because God himself was coming to this spot and had to stay here. We at least we feel this, whatever may have been born, that incident, but such thing appeared only on the first when Baba had to set foot in this district of Hamirpur. Baba made the second round of his darshan in this district in February 1954. This time he came through Urai, through Chora, through the other corner of the district, and giving darshan at certain places in the district. His darshan was last year on 9th February 54. So people of the village, they are very much disappointed that Baba would want to give darshan this time. But I said that's all right. If he comes here, if you have only one glance, he can do in one glance everything. Don't be worried. Baba will see to it. When he started from Mahova, I and Erez were on his car. So he began to addressing to me. I'm not hungry, Keshav. I won't eat food. I said, all right, Baba. I'm being free from all the responsibility. He said, now I'll keep night vigil at Mehrastana. So by 9 p.m. you should prepare everything just as I say. Give food to the Mandli and prepare coffee for 25 or 30 persons and one pill. And just at 9 the program will begin. So I said, all right. But when he came here, long line of people were waiting for him to have one glance. Then seeing them, Baba said, how is it? You said that there was going to be no darshan at Mehrastana. And now why are they standing here? Why these people are standing here? I said, Baba, they have not come to take your darshan. They knew we were coming here. Told Baba, they have not come to have your darshan. But because they know the date that you are coming here to stay, so they want to see you from a distance, they are standing. Then he felt moved. He said, all right, come, I'll give darshan. He was so pleased. The darshan program was held on that platform which you see there. Some plums were placed before him, which he distributed as a prasad, some plums, some this wild fruit. And during that darshan, Baba twice said, you are very lucky that my program is ending here. You are very lucky that my program is ending here. So who can know that luck? I only folded his hands. You are Lord of the universe. You can bestow anything to anyone. But so people on the village, when villagers were very happy, sat down to get prasad. And now Baba, just as he sat on the chair, he said, now I feel hungry. I'm feeling hungry. Prepare my food within half an hour. I must get my food within half an hour. And I will darshan here. I'm hungry. He became hungry here just now. So my wife and Chagan Master prepared food for Baba, rice and pulse of the dal, arar, well food. So he had his food, and by 9, I prepared just according to instructions. I finished everything by 9 p.m. And now got them all sit down here, just at 9 p.m. Baba sat on the sofa, just as here, the same position, just a bit forward, and no one could go in. He sat himself there, gas lanterns were there, and all the workers, lovers of the district were with him, and all the lovers of this village were with him. And he had prohibited to bring any children or female. He said, don't let females come, or children, only lovers. Such was the program. I said, all right, I'll do it. So just at 9 p.m., singing of Qawwali, bhajan, there were 2 singers and 1 qawwal. Qawwali were sung, bhajans were sung, Baba was explaining them some meaning which came in that way. And at 12:50 midnight, between 9th and 10th, within 9th and 10th February, I was there, he called me, called Keshav. I came and I said, folded my hand. He said, now, you don't know what love you are receiving this moment. Twice he said, you don't know what luck you are receiving this moment. And then said, spelled on the board, Avatar Meher Baba ki. He himself raised his hand. He spelled Avatar Meher Baba ki. Then he said, I am in an excellently happy mood now. I am in an excellently happy mood now. It is for the first time in this my incarnation that I have openly declared my divinity here. And my humiliation and my silence will soon begin. My humiliation will soon begin, and my breaking of silence is very dear. About these I'll tell you in detail later on, but in the best of mood, I'll tell you now that after 700 years I will come again. So there was clapping of hands. He then got up, came out, asked us, go and wash your feet and hands and mouth, be pure. And he stood there in that corner. All of you stood in front of him. The Parvatgar prayer and the prayer of repentance were repeated on his behalf, that he himself, folding his hands, stood, and these prayers were read before him. And again again took a seat there in the sofa after doing these things. Then again music and Qawwali went on up to 4 a.m. Then some of the Mandi members told that was Baba's birthday according to Gujarati calendar. So they say, you are so lucky, this is Father so lucky, that Avatar's birthday falls here on this spot. There will come time in future when people will take the dust of this, place, they will worship it. Up to 4th, then people, having known that this was Baba's birthday, we are very happy, we are dancing, singing songs of birth. Baba and Baba embrace all of them, one by one. And at 4:30 declared that program is over. The program, my darshan program is finished. That was the end of the declaration. On 9th and between 9th and 10th February night, at 12:50 hour, इस प्रकार मैं आस्थाना की कुटी के भीतर अपने अवतार होने की खुली घोषणा करने के बाद बाबा निकले और अपने आप अपनी खुशी से इस दिशा को चल दिए। यहाँ से मोटर से जाने के पहले वो इस रास्ते से जहाँ मैं जा रहा हूँ इसी रास्ते से चलते आए और हम लोग उनको झाड़ियों के नीचे दक्षिण की तरफ जो झाड़ी कुंज है उस तरफ को उनके पीछे पीछे चले। इस में बाबा declaring himself to be the avatar of the age, finished his darshan program, and before departing, leaving this place, he went down to the bushes which are under this pond there. He himself, of his own, was going there to sit in the bush, and the Bandi followed him. I was behind Baba, and the Bandi was coming behind me. So Baba walked up to this, walking up came here, and then at this point he turned to the right of the path. Then Baba turned to the right at this point, and I was following him, and all the Bandi people were following him. He slowly walked to this place. He was walking silently, and we also were following him quite silently to see what Baba was going to do next. What will be Baba's activity next? And coming under these bushes, he continued coming down these bushes to the spot which is filled with thorny bushes, which is covered by thorny bushes. Now, he came here and walking under the thorny bushes, continued coming, slowly coming, and reaching here on this spot. He sat on the chair which we had placed for him to sit. He continued sitting for 25 to 30 minutes. And all the Mandali people and Baba lovers all were gathered around him throughout that area under these bushes. His chair was placed here. He was seated on the chair. This construction was not there then. It had been made in 1950 or 65 or 66 by me to mark the importance of this platform where avatar of the age sat for 25 to 30 minutes. Baba sat there quite silently, no words, nothing. He was silent for 25 to 30 minutes, and all the Mandi people were also quite silent. So this silence for half an hour he observed and then left this place. ये जो झाड़ी ऊपर है, this bush which is on our heads was covered with dense foliage of a tree which has now fallen. Now, at that time this was not open, it was all covered. And now because that tree has fallen, so this gap has occurred. Baba sat there silently and his Mandi sitting all under this throughout the area, was looking at Baba. What he did, he was sitting quite silently. Just when Baba was about to leave their asana, my wife came running to me and asked me that her sister is seriously ill. So request Baba to go to our house and cure her, give her his blessings. Because I had ordered, Baba said, after darshan program no one should come to me. I won't see anyone. I won't talk to anyone. Because that discipline was the second order to me for the whole darshan program of the Sikh was that after darshan no one should come to see me. I won't talk to anyone. I was going to darshan to none. So, obeying that order, I scolded my wife. I said, go away. Now I finished the darshan. He can't go anywhere. So she went disappointed. And after some time came again running and requesting me to tell Baba the condition of her sister who was about to die. Then again I scolded in compliance with Baba's order. But Baba's ways are different. He himself called me and said, what is the matter? He asked me what is the matter. I told him the story that she is lying just to die. Last day when she heard that Baba has come, she in that condition ran up to see Baba's darshan, but fainted and fell down on the threshold because she had no power. She was suffering from double pneumonia and typhoid. So when Baba heard this, he said, all right, come, let us go there. I took him there. She was sitting just about to breathe last. Baba fondled her. And when we came to the yard out and said, 99% no hope. 99% no hope. And then he said, go and tell her to repeat my name till her last breath. If she cannot repeat verbally, loudly, then she should repeat mentally, by mind. I conveyed Baba's message to her. And then Baba spoke to my young brother who is doctor. He told some medicines. If she has fever, then give penicillin. If there is such symptom, give such a. So the prescription he gave. So my brother tells now, if he comes, I'll introduce. He says he had told one medicine was such that if people were not to die, will die by taking that medicine. There was such medicine. Well, so he said, because Baba had ordered him to do just as Baba said. Baba again he was instructing, do as I say, do as I say. So he said it was Baba's order that I gave that medicine to her. Otherwise she must have died. In our medical science, that drug was just enough to kill her. So I told those present, asked this, what Baba said, and then came away. And by that very cure, she became all right. And now she is mother of two daughters, one son. That Baba gave new life to two persons in our family. One, my younger brother, who is the caretaker of the Asana, and the other, my wife's younger sister, who is there at home. My contact with Baba began in 1942, when I heard Baba's name through one of his disciples, Baba Das, who was moving under Baba's order throughout the whole of India, meeting God lovers, and then giving Baba's message to him, telling that Baba has come as God man. So, came to him to know Baba's name by one of his disciples, Baba Das. He immediately came to my house and began to tell me about Baba. I said, I'm devotee of Lord Krishna. My God is Lord Krishna. I don't accept anyone as Baba. I was a political leader. So I said, in politics, Gandhiji is my avatar. In spirituality, Lord Krishna is my avatar. I'm not going to accept Baba as avatar. But he gave me some pictures and some books of Baba in spite of that, and went away. So then my malice against Baba was so much that I threw down his pictures on the road, so that people may trample down him. Because I thought Baba was a man who was ideally sitting in Mehrabad and declaring him avatar and wanting that everyone should worship him as avatar. I did not accept. These things went on. Baba was with me. These things ended there. Baba's circulars began to come to me. Because Baba had sent me my address to Hadi's office. So I was so prejudiced. As soon as I saw Ahmednagar, I used to throw that paper into paper basket. Never cared to see what is contained anything. Just Ahmednagar, that was finished for me. That's a useless letter. This continued, but in 1948, it was in May 1948, there came one circular And I felt from within, just let us see what it is. What is the harm if I read its content? So I opened that envelope, and it was Baba circular. It was given that from 21st June 1948 to for 30 days there is period of spiritual crisis in the world. The 30-day period. So my devotees, my lovers, and all those who want to love me should follow any one of the 4 instructions that were given in that circular. And those conditions were to keep silence for 1 month. Second, to bring one poor man every day, new man, and feed him with your own hand, with your own hand. Third, only one meal in 24 hours. Fifth, don't touch opposite sex, don't touch money, don't hurt anyone. Even if one hurts you, don't retaliate it. Then the feeling arose in me, Baba may be avatar or may not be avatar, but these things which he has given, they are very fine. What is the harm if I accept one of them? So there was an acknowledgement paper in that letter. I filled it up. Baba, I agree. I promise to follow the 4th order of not touching money, not touching opposite sex, not hurting anyone. And I said I accept this order most voluntarily. And I promise that I'll observe it without any compromise. But I said, Lord. So, in short, the Chief Secretary made me to take the appointment letter. I took an appointment letter and came home to mind my affairs. So my wife was very happy. She said, now you go and take the charge. And when you get suitable residence, we will come afterward. Thus my daughter's touching business was removed, but I did not know it then. Then I went to give charge of my secretary. I was secretary of Bar Association of Mirpur. So having that money, I went there to give charge. So then in the way I remember, but the observance of Baba's order begins today. And I have disobeyed his order. I had money in my hand. But then it wasn't delivered. I could not remember. It was not in my mind. And then there came the question of going to Nagaon for taking charge. Then I said, now who should accompany me? And next time the idea came out, I have committed one mistake in deliberately. Now let it be one deliberately, what is the harm? When I read Nagaon, I believe touching money. That's why I kept money in my pocket, knowingly that it was prohibited by Baba. So this was intentional deliberate disobedience of Baba's order. And third one, the day I started to go to Nagaon, I went to a girl who was about 12 or 13. She was poor, I used to help her with money and with what I could. So just I say that I'm going to Nagaon. She pays a tilak on me, just you have got. It is sign of welcome. And I just patted on the cheek, knowing that it is private by Baba. All the time I was feeling that it is against the orders of Baba. And when I took charge, and from the very moment I committed these two mistakes, an abscess began to form here. An abscess. This had caused me disobedience of Baba. I had to, it sold up my hand, sold to this place, I had great pain. Anyway, I had to got it operated in the hospital. In the meantime, on 15th July, I received one BP of Avatar by Jean Radian, and forwarding letter by Adi Kirani, in which Adi Kirani has said, Baba of his own accord has asked me to send this book to you. So it is of great value for you. That Baba himself has ordered me. So take it, honor it, VP, don't return it. And you are very lucky. So my malice against Baba again rose to its height. That they are playing this business with me. He wants to prove himself to be the avatar and send this book to sketch 10 rupees from me. Then again, so I thought, what is the harm if I under the VP. It is a question of 10 rupees only. Let us see if it might be some very good teacher is on Avatar. So on 19th, I honored the VPP and read the book Avatar by Jean Radial. After reading it, my all the doubts and sanskaras and everything, all the dirt I feel vanished. I became Baba as today I am. So from that Avatar, I found that one driver at Persia had disobeyed his order. Baba was in Persia on bus. Baba had ordered the driver not to place anything else except my monthly luggage. He promised to Baba that he won't take any other thing. But that driver is still he put some diamonds in that bus. So when the bus started, after few miles, it failed. In that desert, it could not go forward. Then again he was busy. Then again for some distance, again it stopped. In short, he was so much trouble. He had extreme trouble. And said, God, what have I done? When I'm facing such difficulty, I've never faced. So it came into his mind that he is some saint, and perhaps I should ask him why I have suffered so much. Then Baba, please, he said, what order did I give you? Not to place any other thing. You have kept, why have you kept it? So he advised him, then never make any promise with Sadguru, Kutub, perfect master, avatar. Never give any promise, but be careful. But if once you have given a promise, you must fulfill it. Otherwise you will have to suffer much. No one can pardon such one in the world, except one whom you have disobeyed. So, I got the explanation that this was the punishment of Baba given to me by obeying his two orders twice. Then I wrote to Baba all these stories, how I threw his pictures away, how the boil appeared, absence developed, everything. And I sought Baba's permission to translate Avatar into Hindi. So very encouraging reply came. I wrote to me that I am gold medalist in Hindi at Lucknow University. My Hindi qualification, I am gold medalist, the first one. So he said, Baba is very happy. You start translation of Avatar and directed Deshmukh to contact with me. I had placed the copy of a letter for Jean Radial also. She was in India at that time. So Baba gave her copy to her. Then next came her letter to me. Baba, she had informed, Baba was on the lookout to find someone to translate the Avatar into Hindi. So it is in you he has found the proper man. And I am sure that by translating Avatar, you will... He wrote to me in a letter that since Baba was desiring to get it translated into Hindi for a long time, so you are the right person, he has got you. And by translating it, you will get the same experiences which I have received. And you will find Baba's help from within, positively in doing that. And I finished the translation of Avatar, which has been published in Meher Pukar, in CD. So, from there I remained at Riva for about 2 years. I sat down for 1 year only.
And then Baba called you?
Yes. Then I came to Amirpur and joined as Secretary District Board Amirpur. And from there I was discharged on 20th March 1952, on which Baba's complicated free life was to begin. Complicated free life from 10th July, full free life, and from 15th November, fiery free life. So it was just on the eve of the 20th March 1952 that I discharged from service. And for 1 year I remained without service. I had to face great difficulties. And in 1953 he called me to Dehradun. And with the monthly He spoke to me. I want to give you the work, Keshav, which is think before accepting it. In doing that, you may be humiliated, you may be even killed, you may be beaten, and all sorts of trouble by for you. That is it. So think well and tell me whether you want that work or not. I was waiting for that. In the same tone, I said, Baba, I accepted. I wanted only this what you have just. So Baba gave me an appointment letter of appointment, typed one, and told me you are moving in the district, telling Baba's message, and not to do anything, and come after 6 months again to Baba. I said, all right. I took Baba's letter. That was Ramnavami day, and there was a program, open program was going. Baba was going. That's Ramnavami day. Then after he had called me to do 6 months, but after 3 months he called me again to Dehradun and asked me the report of the work I had done. So here, after hearing me, he said, I asked you to do it 100%, but you have done it 101%. You have done my work 101%. I folded my hands to Baba with your grace. So he said, now you go on my work, do my work. In 1952 he came to give darshan. He gave me 1500 rupees was offered by offering. So the district was 500 Baba from his own pocket. He said, now this is for the office. Carry on. He gave me about 1700 and some rupees which came to Baba as offerings by the devotees at many places. And to it Baba added 500 rupees from his own pocket. He said, now you have it, this is for your office. Carry on my office work. So his office was established at Hamirpur by me. Gave me field work, go and prepare workers for the free life. He said, go into the villages to tell my name to every person and prepare workers for my free life. I was given, and if you have prepared one, even one you can prepare just as I want, then my work will have been done. So I began to tour all this district, made down this district. I was discharged from my service. From Hamirpur I had, because the president said, he is so honest that we cannot deal with him. He is so honest that he cannot work with us. This was my disqualification. So, and from that time Baba began to circular. The office was, the chain of work began with Adi Irani, his big office. Yes, all these messages from 22 to 1952 up to now are translated by me in English. Even now, the circulars of trust and other things come to me in English. I translate them, give them in my Pukar if necessary. So, in 1965, now this last thing began to develop. My hand began to fail in writing. In 1967, Baba Sahib, he said it is incurable. But I'll see, don't worry, it will go away one day. But take medicines regularly. Medicines won't cure it, but you should not fail to take medicines. I said, all right. He sent me to Dr. Ginde, who was his disciple and well-known physician. He went to New York for certain operation. So he just saw me, and there is Parkinson's disease. After all, he had said, there is no cure. I wrote to him after 3 months, there is no difference. He said, not. You contact the neurosurgeon of Lucknow Medical College. Then he kept me in as an old patient for 14 days. No change also. So there is no change. Every time Baba came, show me, in the last meeting of October, he again saw the last time. I addressing all the workers of country assembled before him. He said, just see, he has been doing my work. And just see how his hands have worked. So he spread his own hands. And before all of them said, I will make his hands again like myself. He said, see how his hands are trembling. He said, it is terrible. But one day, I will make his hands like mine once again. Whenever he used to say, don't worry, I said, Baba, don't worry that I've got this disease. I worry when you have given the I told you, Baba, that I don't worry about it, but when it's put an obstruction in your work, I feel worried. So he became silent for thrice, and my idea was that by telling about this, he'll give me some assistance. Then the fourth time, when in the fourth time I said this, he said, all right, in this very condition you do whatever you can, don't worry. Even in this condition, whatever you can do and don't worry. So I thought that now my work is finished. I go on carrying on Baba's office, editing my book as far as I can. And if I fail, I don't worry. On account of this I fail. This is God gives to me. When I started from Naradas after the first meeting, he said, come and kiss me here. So I went there and I got the last kiss on his hand. And I never knew that this was the last bit Baba was going to be. The last thing. The importance of kiss, God's kiss. I have kissed God. When I think I have kissed God in human form, what is my luck? Just the same, you do not know what luck you are receiving this moment. So I think I now become desireless. When God met me, I kissed God, which seems impossible. Now I don't feel now. I was quite happy. And with this also, this story ends. In Mehra there have been many miraculous manifestations from time to time. It was in May 1968 when Baba had given his order to the devotees to repeat both prayers, Parvatdhara and repentance prayers every day. Do you remember? Then it was during that period. Bhagavan performed prayers daily. But one day, in the middle of the day, he forgot to offer prayers up to 11 p.m. night. So when he used to come to sweep, this Baba order is to him, live here and sweep it. Jhadu mara tha. So one day he came and sat there, just from this steps, just few yards away from those steps, one dead body of jackal. One dead jackal lying with his head towards the Samutra, to this platform. So when Makun saw it, at once one cobra appeared all of a sudden there. And he touched the dead body's mouth of the jackal and then turned and made a round of it. Came to the other side and reaching the mouth, disappeared. At once disappeared. Makun was horrified. He was thrilled. He did not dare to come to. Makun was horrified to see this unusual scene. He could not dare to sweep this floor that day and went up. The next day when he came, he saw that body had been, half of it had been eaten by animals. And it had been dragged to this place. And he again on the third day he came, then those remains of the bones had come up to this place. There. Then on the third day, and he says, from the day he saw that dead body, some jackals came daily to it, and began to howl every day. And among them there was such voice that pinched his heart, of very mourning. So that day, on the third day when he was offering prayer at 11 at night, he was sleeping. When he was offering prayer, he repeated Om Parabram Paramatma 7 times. Then a voice from behind him accompanied him. He said, there was none, but he saw who is accompanying him. There was none. So then he slept. After performing prayer, he slept outside the hut. Yes, above I stood this part. But he says at about 10 a.m. night, someone rose him and made him sit down. Someone just as if it order, rose him and made him sit down. So he was surprised as to who has awakened me, who has helped me to sit down. He was very worried with this experience. Then he was thirsty and tried to go to fetch water, which was put on the other side of the asana. When he got up and went there, he saw something was lying on the way. Something was lying on the way, crossing his way. Out of that he said, I could think of nothing, but I simply cried Baba. Then that body also cried Baba with the same tone. So he felt still more surprised whether he was sleeping or whether he was dreaming. He again said Baba. Then that dead body again said Baba. The third time he again cried out. The third time again that body responded Baba, but in a very, very, very thin voice. Then for the fourth time when he said Baba, there was no response. She had expired. When he slowly went to her and found that it was the dead body of a female jackal. And that was the body of a male jackal. The body that was he saw here was of male jackal. That was of female jackal. Then, now whatever may be the relation with it, the tradition was that one yogi told that two spirits live here. So I thought this, when Avatar came to this place, the Avatar gave those spirits. I thought of this phenomena, wonderful phenomena, again and again to see what could it be, how could it be. Then I remember the yogis was that two spirits live here, two ghosts live here. So when Baba sanctified this place with his presence, they were given the form of male and female jackal, and both after finishing their sanskaras by Baba's grace, one died below the asana and the other died there. This was my imagination. So since then, there are thousands of stories experiences, but this was the greatest. The last uttering of the Baba for thrice before talking about this. Okay. So, it is getting evening, and thousands of birds in the evening come to take rest in the trees of their asana, because there is no jungle now for them to live in the field. So, in the evening, every day, there is great chirping of birds. They come here to take rest, and in the morning, they fly away. This is the home of peacocks. This is the home of, so Asana is the home of peacocks. Thousands of birds and jackals, they freely come up. They pass by Makund without fear. Sometimes they see her. Makund comes and does his duty, sweeping, goes away undisturbed. Makund does not fear, not do they fear Makund. So sometimes they jump over him. Jackal. So the morning of Mehrasana, evening of Mehrasana is very pleasant. Morning and evening of Mehrasana is very pleasant. So you heard these voices.